Is the camera from my side okay? Like, is it the shot? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's perfect. It's fine. It's no problem.
Okay, okay.
All right. So my name is Wesahana Pearson, recording for Black Asia Magazine, and I'm talking to a gentleman right here. Could you first, for the site, tell me your name?
Oh, my name is Kelly Jackson, and I live in Thailand, but I'm originally from Cameroon, from the southwest region of Cameroon.
Okay. And how long have you been living in Thailand?
Yeah, I've been in Thailand for about 3 years now. For about 3 years now.
How do you like it?
Oh, I think it's good. So far, so good, because I've been able to make some friends, and they have been able to pursue my career in the movie industry, and they have been able to live happily without having any problem with the Thai people or the Thai culture. So I think so far it has been very great.
Okay, that's good to hear. So you've had overall a positive experience. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I want to know a little bit more about the movie thing that you just mentioned. You said you're into doing movies and making films. Before we go into that, let's try to step back and talk a little bit about your background. So you said that you're from Cameroon. Can you give me an idea of which part of Cameroon you come from?
Yeah, I came from the southwest region of Cameroon. I
Mhm.
think it's closer to Nigeria. And like for most people who don't know, Cameroon is a bilingual country, which means we speak two languages,
Mhm.
and we speak the English language and the French language. So
Okay.
I'm from the English speaking part of it.
Okay. And in Cameroon, are there any other languages that people can speak besides English and French?
Yeah, we have our local languages. If I'm not wrong, we have about 256 local languages. Yeah, it's like there are like so many people put together. But the thing in Cameroon is like we don't really speak our local language that much. We just speak English and the French, which are the national language.
Okay. And so if I remember from my geography lessons in school, Cameroon has two major cities. Cameroon has Yaoundé, which is the capital, and then I think Douala, which is in the south, which I think has a little bit more populous, a few more people in it.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. Yaoundé is the capital. Found some. They are both in the central part of Cameroon, but like they are just like close to each other. And the Douala is the economic capital. It runs the economy of the country. It's like the most populated city in Cameroon.
Okay. So how far are you from Douala, the place where you grew up?
Yeah, I think it's not that far. Like a car, if I take a bus or a car from where I live and from where I grew up, sorry, from where I grew up to Douala should take me about an hour to get there. It's not that far. From the southwest, when you move towards the border of the southwest, the next region is Littoral, which is Douala.
Okay. All right. So not
Yeah,
far
so
from a big city or major city.
you're not that far, not that far.
Can you try to describe for me what was it like for you growing up in the southwest part of Cameroon? Can you try to give me a picture of what it was like living there?
Yeah, it was really hard, yeah, because I came from a very low income family, and my parents had us like so many. So, and he wasn't really that rich, but he is a nice guy, and he did his best to take care of us. Yeah, but sometimes, as kids, there are certain things we need, and we couldn't understand why our parents couldn't give us those things. So sometimes I particularly felt like, oh, what's wrong with my parents? Why can they not give me what I need? Yeah, it was really hard. It was really hard. But in terms of the friendliness, I think I had a lot of friends, and my parents were very nice to me. They are still nice, yeah, to me. And I think I had a very good childhood, like caring. But in terms of getting things, like food, clothes, and toys, sometimes it was really difficult.
Okay, material things were not there, but love and like the
Yeah,
family structure was there. If I
yeah.
could ask you, how many people are there in your family?
Or we are like eight. My parents had us like about, not about, sorry for my fault. We are eight of us. Sorry
Eight.
about that. Eight,
Okay,
yeah,
all
eight
right, okay.
children.
Okay. Now moving forward a little bit, What was it that made you decide to leave Cameroon in the first place and travel abroad?
Yeah, I decided to move abroad because I felt like there wasn't anything for me to do back home. It wasn't my country is not that open, and sometimes not sometimes like we from the English speaking part, it's difficult for us to get jobs. So that is why I just felt like maybe if I move to another country, I might have some more chances than I do have in my home country.
Okay, so you felt like, at least in Cameroon, the people who speak French kind of dominate in the job markets, and it's easier for you to be successful if you speak French,
Yeah,
French part.
yeah, that was my feeling.
Okay, all right. So you decided to come to Thailand. Is Thailand the first place that you have lived outside of Cameroon?
No, not exactly. I've been to China before, and then now Thailand. I was in China for about 3 years. Then I went back home. Then I came to Thailand.
All right. Where did you live in China?
China, I live in about three cities. Like I was in Liaoning, sorry, not like I was in Liaoning province, is that precisely in Shenyang. I was in Jilin province in Changchun, and I was also in Heilongjiang province in Jinhua, not far from Yiwu.
Okay. And did you learn to speak Chinese or any of the dialects that they have in that country?
Yeah. I
Because
had a
I
lot of
noticed, like,
Chinese
whenever I
friends.
meet people from West Africa, it's like what you said. There are a lot of languages in the country, and people from those parts in Western Africa usually pick up languages very quickly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think if I have to compare the two languages, like the Thai and the Chinese, I think that my Chinese is far more better than my Thai. You
Really?
know, I
Okay.
yeah, I was able to understand the language, the Chinese language, far more quicker than the Thai language.
Right. And I also know that it can be difficult because Chinese language, I speak some Chinese myself, it has four tones.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Thai language has seven tones. It has a lot more.
A lot more. Yeah. In China, like my friends, they will always tease me. They have T, ba, 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 ba. They are all four different things.
Yeah, exactly. True. Okay. All right. So thank you for sharing that. So let's see, Thailand, Cameroon, China. Are there any other places that you visited before, or any places that you're planning to
Yeah.
visit in the future?
I was in Nigeria before for about 4 months before I came to Thailand. Actually, when I left China, I went to Cameroon. I stayed in Cameroon for about a year. Then I went to Nigeria. I was in Nigeria for about 3 to 4 months before I came to Thailand.
Okay. All right. Okay. So next, if you have to compare the place where you grew up in Southwest Cameroon to the place where you're living now, which is Bangkok, how would you, if you put those two places side by side, how would you compare those two places?
I will I would think that I think there's nothing to compare about these two places. Like Bangkok is far more developed, far more better than the Southwest region, and far more better than any city in Cameroon. Not Yaoundé, not Douala is able to compare with Bangkok. Bangkok is super developed, and the way the area has been structured is in a form that you kind of have the basic things you need. They are like really accessible and affordable.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, all right, let's move forward a little bit and let's get to the very important and very interesting part of this interview. Can you tell me what it is that you do there since you've been there? What's your job and what are your other interests?
Yeah, when I came to Thailand, I came as an English teacher, like ESF teacher. Yeah, but when I arrived here and I was here for about a year, then I decided that let me pursue something different. So I went into a school. It's more like a professional school. They call it SAE. SAE is it's a very big brand all over the world. So they have one branch in Bangkok. Yeah,
Okay.
SAE. Yeah.
So, can you tell me what SAE stands for? What does that mean, SAE?
I think what I saw on the website is just SIA Institute. SIA Institute. It
Okay.
doesn't like have any full meaning, just like SIA Institute. They do filmmaking, they do audio engineering, they do business management, and some other stuff.
Okay, so you learned about SAE after you were already in Thailand.
Yeah, yeah, from the internet.
Okay, all right. So if you wouldn't mind after the interview, just sending me the link to that, and I can post the link so anyone else who's interested in maybe studying film also, they can also look into that. Okay, so you teach English and you also make
Okay,
films.
okay, sir.
Okay, so you also make films there.
Yeah, yeah. The first year I was just teaching, but by the second year, then I decided to study. So like I was kind of doing study and teaching at the same time, which was really hard. But all went well, and then I've graduated. It was because it's just like a 1 year diploma program for filmmaking, and then right now I'm doing some short movies and some documentaries.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit more about that? What films have you made so far, and what films are you working on at the present?
Yeah, I have done a couple of short movies, and um, like the one of them is called All or Nothing, which is about two girls fighting over a boy. And then I also did a short movie about a lady who answers the husband's cell phones and was misinformed. And then I did a couple of documentaries about teaching in Thailand, some of the difficulties you might come across if you want to teach in Thailand. Then I did the last one I just did was about the way Africans are being perceived in Asia. Like if you go online or if you follow their mainstream media, there is no single good thing about an African. They are just like negative news all over the place. Yeah, sometimes it's really uncomforting. You know, it's really like it's really discouraging. There are a lot of good things we the Africans do over here. So I think that we deserve a little bit of appreciation.
Okay.
And I know, yeah, and I know I understand that there are a lot of also unpleasant things that we the Africans we do commit here, we do over here. But I think they shouldn't just focus their mind on those stuff, you know. That's just my own opinion. So I try to share more lights on issues like this.
Okay. All right. So, it's what do you have what's the name of the piece you're working on now about trying to
Oh,
inform people?
I finished that one already, and it's called what's it titled? I think Africans in Thailand. Yeah, African Thailand. I posted it in my website and in my YouTube page. After this, I'm gonna give you the link so that you can watch and then
Okay.
tell me what you
I
think.
appreciate that. Thank you. So I was talking
Yeah.
about what you just said reminds me of a conversation I had with another Black American guy about maybe last year. And in the American media, we have the same problem with us as Black people just totally, well, 90% of the time being portrayed in a negative light. And so what he and I both agreed is that if we want our story to be told the right way, then we have to tell it. That's pretty much what it
Exactly.
comes to. So it's an excellent thing that you're doing. Excellent.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you,
So,
sir.
moving on, how do you feel? You told me a little bit about this already, but how do you feel as a Black person living there in Thailand since you've been there?
Yeah, sometimes it can be really hard. Sometimes it can be really hard. And most of the time it's okay. Like sometimes you come across certain issues that makes you feel like you are being discriminated upon. But I try to look at it on the other way that maybe the person doing this doesn't even understand what he or she is doing.
Mhm.
Maybe part of it might be ignorance, you know. That's how I try to look at it, not to get offended. And sometimes I try to use the word empathy. I try to understand why the people are behaving the way they are towards me.
Empathy.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it might be they have a very negative experience with a fellow black person before, and
Okay.
so they are just reacting. You know,
Right.
sometimes it might be like that, and that's like that. So sometimes I really try to be patient. I really try to calm down myself, not to overreact when I come across cases when people do certain things that I feel is not good.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And moving forward, so living there in Thailand, and you've been there for a few years, what kinds of jobs or businesses do you see other Black people involved in Thailand?
Yeah, like the most common jobs that most black people or most foreigner as a whole can get in Thailand is the teaching job. You know, like in Asia, with some few exceptions, maybe like Japan and Korea, but in most Asian countries, they have this principle that the foreigners can only do the jobs which their citizens cannot do. It's the same principle in China and it's the same principle in Thailand. Like we can only do the jobs that the Thai people cannot do, which is like the teaching job. Or maybe you can start your own small business. I have seen some Nigerians doing some business. They do exporting. They buy stuffs from Thailand and export to Nigeria, you know. But most of my friends are just mainly teachers.
Okay. All right. Exporting and teaching. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Since you've been there, do you see maybe a potential or maybe some kind of a business that people can do that maybe they're just not looking at? Do you see anything like that in Thailand?
Yeah. I like in Thailand, I realized that most of their stuffs are really cheap, and we can capitalize on that, like buying the stuffs from here and exporting to our countries. Not only that, like Thailand, they have a system that of agriculture which is very, very mechanized and is very, very productive. You know, like I've been to a couple of cities and I've seen how they do their fisheries. You know, they have like this fish pond and stuff like that. You see, it's really, really cheap. And if we, the Africans, can copy something like this and take back to our country, I think it's going to be very good for us. We can really use this technology to better our own country.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Good. Okay. Very good. Thank you for sharing that with me. Can you tell me one thing that you really enjoy, that you really love about this country where you're living now, which is Thailand?
Yeah, the thing is, in Thailand, like you can get the basic things. Okay, in Cameroon, it's really hard. Sometimes you might need something, but you cannot get it, even though you have the money to buy it, but you cannot get it because it's not accessible. But in Thailand, you can, like most of the things, if not all, are really accessible. So it just depends on what you want, and when you want it, you are going to get it at any time. So that's one thing I love about Thailand. And the secondly is I realized that they have a very flexible mortgage system, you know, like you can take things on credit, you see, and you can pay, like they have a very low interest rate, so you can take stuff and you can pay like gradually, like in a mortgage form, a house, a car, and stuff like that, which is really good because it helps the people get the stuff they need, like housing and cars, and sometimes they can even take a loan to start a business. Okay. But all these things is I haven't seen them in Cameroon, really. I haven't seen, like, I don't know if people are aware of it, or I don't know if people don't know about it, but in Cameroon, it's likely like nobody even uses this system, and that people don't even know about system like this, which is kind of sad.
Well, there's one Cameroonian now who knows about it, so you know what you have to do. Now you know what you have to do. You know where the opportunity is.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Okay, so looking ahead to the future, the next couple of months or next few years into the future, what are your plans for your projects, for your life, or where you want to go and things like that?
I have I've set up a really huge goal that I want to accomplish. As of now, I'm working on another documentary film. I have a couple of projects which I would love to do, but due to financial difficulties, I really cannot get them done. So I'm just focusing on the stuff I know I can do it on my own, like the documentary films. They don't require that much resources in order to pull them off. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on a documentary, and this documentary is about visa issue and visa agents. You know, we from Africa. We use the visa agents to get our visas when we want to travel, and sometimes a lot of problems just comes along between the visa agents, who is the person who's supposed to give you the visa or help you get the visa, and the visa client, who is the person who needs the visa to travel. You know, sometimes they have a lot of clashes between them, and the people, we are left wondering like what's going on, what's happening. So that's why I want to make a documentary about this, to let people be informed of some of the things that goes within this line of business or line of job, something like that. So I've done the interview, and I'm almost done with the interview. And when it is done, I'm going to be writing the audio for it, because as of now, I try to do everything by myself. Like I do the shooting, I write the script, and I also write the audio myself. And sometimes I also narrate the story myself.
Okay. All right. So as far as this project and its content, it sounds like the visa agents are kind of taking advantage of people, or they're creating a situation where people are living there and the people need certain documents and don't have them. So,
yeah, it's like a two-way sword, like the visa agents have realized that most people from Cameroon in particular want to travel due to the hardship in Cameroon. And like us, the Cameroonians, we are willing to pay whatever it takes just to travel, because we have this behind our minds that if we travel to other countries, we can be better off, we can make some money, we can support our family. Okay,
right.
So yeah, so if it comes to traveling abroad, then the whole family are for it. They will do their best to put the monies together. So this visa agent, they realizes this, and now they are using it like at their advantage. And sometimes also it might be the fault of the visa client, the person who needs the visa. Before you give anybody your money, you need to do some due diligence. You need to know who you're dealing with. Okay,
Right.
and sometimes you need to be prepared for the worst. Like I try to tell people that those visa agents don't work in the embassy. They are just like ordinary people like you and I. So they don't have anything to do as far as your visa is concerned. Visa is being granted by the consular, not by the visa agent. So that maybe the visa agent is maybe trying his luck and stuff like that. So if you're ignorant and then enough to give your money to a visa agent without knowing if this visa agent can get the visa for you or not, I think it's partly your own problem if you don't get the visa in the future.
Okay, so you're saying that people who are in Cameroon, they give money to people, they send money to people in Thailand, and then
not necessarily in Thailand, but they have the agents even in Cameroon and even in Thailand. Yeah, the agents are like everywhere.
Right. But sometimes the person will get stuck in Cameroon, and they gave this, so now they're out a lot of money, but they're still stuck in Cameroon.
Yeah. Like in Cameroon, if you want to travel, like you might just talk to a friend, like, bro, I want to travel. Please, can you assist me? Do you know any agent you can link me to who can help me to get this visa? So they can link you to one person who links you to another person who links you to another person. So
right.
Something like that. And sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you will get the visa. Sometimes, if you are not lucky enough, then you won't get the visa. And the worst of it all is that you won't get your money back. That's just a problem.
Okay. So how about Cameroonians that you've seen who are living in Thailand? Do you ever see the situation where they lose money or they lose their documents from an agent?
Yeah.
That's so honest.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Like I am in one group called Cameroonians in Thailand. It's a Facebook group, and I've seen some posts that people have been posting on the site about issues like this. Like, we've given our money to this guy, and till date, I haven't gotten my visa. And the worst of it all is that I haven't gotten my passport back. So it happens like a lot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. When you finish with that project, most definitely share it with me, and I'll share it with everyone I know.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And I think that was yesterday, and not 2 days ago, I did something very short. This one is not like, because I didn't actually shoot the footages. I just borrowed them from YouTube. So they are not like my work. Yeah, but this one I'm going to be posting today. It's about the struggle in Cameroon. Okay. Sometimes I understand that we have different opinions about things, but I think sharing is also a good way, to let people be informed. This one is about 7 minutes. It's about 6 minutes long, and just narrating like how we Africans We don't know why our continent is I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. I don't know how to put it, but we have a lot of difficulties in the continent, and we are supposed to be very developed, very happy people, due to the fact that we own a lot of resources, you know. But for some reason, I cannot understand. We are the least in the world. So something about that. Just trying to let my friends understand that we have to sit up. Okay, we have to come together as Africans, and that the Europeans or the Americans will never come to our aid if we don't sit up and try to solve our problems by ourselves.
Okay. All right. So this film that you just made is about 7 minutes, and it's on your website right now.
No, I'll be posting it soon, maybe in a couple of hours.
Okay. So I have your website. I have the link. I have the link posted to my my blog page. I'll check it out probably tomorrow. I'll check it out.
Yeah, but I just want to make it clear that I didn't shoot the footages. I just borrowed from YouTube. It's all about Africa. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Is there anything else that you want to say or last comments before we break?
Yeah, I just want to say that I hope that we as Africans can come together and try to solve our problems by ourselves. And we can understand that nobody is going to help us if we don't help ourselves. And one more thing that we Africans need to understand is that whoever is coming to help us, the Chinese, the Americans, the British, the French, they are not there to help us. Okay, they are there for their own profits, for their own interests. It's not today. We should have realized this since from the days of the slave trade. You know, they didn't come to Africa just to rescue the Africans from the Stone Age. You know, they came there because they needed manpower for their factories and their farms in South America. Then they came again for colonization when they needed lands and raw materials. It wasn't for us. Then they came again and for independence, that we should grant these people independence, but it wasn't for us. It was just because they needed puppet governments to control. And we still see that happening till date. Like, there's nothing they would do for Africa that would be for the Africans. There is always a kind of like string, like a rope behind everything they do, that if you look at it, it turns around and goes back to them. You see. But most of the times, we Africans, we do not realize that. And that is the problem, because we are ignorant about their motives, so they kind of use it against us. I'm not like is it xenophobic? They call it. Like, I'm not against the white people. Okay, I'm not against the Chinese. I'm not racist about any person. But I'm just saying that we Africans, we need to be educated. We need to be aware of what is going on. If we want to develop our continent, our countries, then we need to aware. We need to know how this game is being played, so that we can better equip ourselves.
Do you think that living in Africa, there might be a difference between people who live there, and as you've come up, you live in Thailand now, do you think you have a better understanding of how the game is being played because you live outside, as opposed to someone who's just living in their own local area?
Yes. I think that some people do not have access to this kind of information. You see, they don't have access to information. And sometimes when you travel to other countries, you meet a lot of people, you have communication with them, okay? And then sometimes you get some information that change your whole perception about things, you know?
Right.
When I was back home, I always felt like, oh, the whites are there, the United Nations is there, the European Union is there. They will come to our aid, they will help us. But now we are having a serious violence in Africa. If care is not taken, this will turn into a civil war in Cameroon, you know. But no one is saying anything.
You mean you're talking about right now?
Right now, and nobody is saying anything about it. No, we are not seeing anything being done.
A civil war?
Yeah,
what? Like what?
No. It's not. I say, what I'm saying that if care is not taken, it will turn into a civil war, because right now it's like there is a conflict between the soldiers and the civilians, you know. Right. And now these civilians are being armed by some other people. Sometimes it's really difficult to tell who is arming them. And the civilians who are fighting for their rights are being called terrorists, secessionists, and stuff like that. You know, right. You know, human beings, we have just how can I put it? It's easy for us to turn into monsters if care is not taken. Yeah, my point is like I always thought that if Africa has a problem, or if Cameroon has a problem, the West, the United Nations, the EU, they will come in as soon as possible to help. But when this incident started in Cameroon, then I realized that it wasn't like I have thought, maybe I was wrong all along.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what's in life. You're supposed to go through these times when you grow. So yeah, I guess you're where you're supposed to be. All
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Thank you very much for sharing everything with me. Yeah, Black Asian Magazine. Thanks. All right.
Thank you very much, sir.